Hi everybody, I'm Miss Christina and I'm here to teach you some yoga on your wellness day. You can meet me in a seated position, sitting up nice and tall. I want you to pretend that you have a glue stick, you're putting glue on both of your hands, then take your hands and place them underneath you and pull yourself up and glue yourself down to the mat so that your hips don't move anywhere. And then bring your hands to your knees with your palms facing up. Then close your eyes and just breathe and try to bring yourself right here into this moment. We'll take a big breath together. Breathe in through your nose and let it out your mouth. Awesome. One more time, breathe in and out your mouth. Flutter your eyes open. And speaking of the word flutter, we're gonna take a butterfly breath. We'll bring our arms by our side, reach them up overhead like we have wings, and flap them down. And when we do it, we'll breathe in as we bring our arms up and breathe out as you bring your arms down. Let's take a few of those. Take it at your own pace. So your breath is going to be different than anyone else's breath. And that's because we're all different people, we're all unique. Bring your hands down to the mat. So before we go any further, I want to make sure that we know what wellness is. There may be a few different definitions that you hear today, and that's okay because it's a very big topic. My definition for you is balance in your mind, body, and soul. Your mind is about your thinking and your learning. Your body is what brings you around and allows you to move in life. Your soul is how you feel on the inside. We want to think about all three areas of life and what we're doing to benefit our mind, our body, and our soul. Sometimes when we do something, we actually benefit all of the areas. So for example, movement benefits everything. So let's do our next move. We'll bring our arms up overhead and take a side body stretch. Bring your right arm down and your left arm up and over. And you stretch nice and long, up, stretching. And then bring your right arm up, come back to center, take a big breath in. And breathe out, plant your left palm, reach your right arm up and over, stretch through the side body. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, bring your arms down to your knees and bring your right arm behind you and your left hand to your right knee. And you're twisting open to the right side. And then we'll come back through center and go over to the other side. Your left arm goes back, your right hand goes to your knee, and you lift up and twist over. Back to center. We'll send our legs long out in front of us. Let's shake them out, shake them out. So anytime that we do movement, we're moving around some of the feelings that we have in our body. So right now we can even move our arms and just wiggle around a little bit. All of this helps to get some of those feelings out that we have that maybe sometimes are not so good. All right, now that we got that feeling of movement out of the way, let's do some more poses. Let's come to standing position. In our standing position, we're going to work on balancing. Balance is a really important part of wellness because we want to make sure that we're not going too far one way or too far the other way. So why don't you join me with your feet together to touch and make your legs nice and strong like the trunk of a tree. And then bring your arms out to the side, elbows in. We're gonna go off to the left side as your right arm comes up, come back to center and go to the right side. We're just coming up and over, up and over. And this is just to show you the idea of balance. So what you really want to be able to do in your life is to come to center and not be leaning too far one way or leaning too far another way. So whenever you're ready, come meet me at center. And now we'll bring our hands together. We're gonna take tree pose because our legs are strong like a tree trunk. We can bring our right foot to the inside of our left leg. Now your toes can be on the floor, or they can be into the side of your lower leg, or you can bring your foot up into the top part of your leg. Wherever you are is just fine. It's exactly where you should be. Press your palms together and press your foot into your leg as you press your leg back into your foot. That's bringing everything into center, just like we want to be balanced in our wellness. Bring a little smile to your face, and it's totally fine. If some of you are falling right now, you just come right back into it. We're gonna hold it for 4, 3, and release in 2, and 1. Release, we can shake it out, get that movement back in our body. And this time, plant the weight into your right foot. Bring your left foot up to the place that feels right on your body. Bring your hands to the center of your heart. Press in, everything coming into the middle like a straight line, like the balance that you want. Breathe here. Make sure that standing leg is nice and strong. Press into the center, pull your belly button in and back towards your spine. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Amazing. Release and shake it out. Now we're gonna do something to make our body strong. This is one of the really good things for your body, is to move it around and also to try to strengthen your body. So to do this pose, we'll bring our feet together to touch and bend your knees and send your hips back like you're seated in a chair. So it would look like this from the side. Your hands can be at heart center or reaching up overhead. And some of you might know this pose already. This is called chair pose. So notice how it's hard and how you're making your body, especially your legs, work, right? And that is hard in the moment, of course. My legs are shaking, but it's really good for your body to be worked out in that manner. All right, let's hold it for 4. Sink a little bit lower, 3, 2, and 1. Let's fold our hands down to the mat and release our neck. We'll bring our feet hips width distance apart and take a really nice forward fold. Knees are bent as much as needed. The real big key is that we're relaxed through our neck. And we're relaxed through the whole spine too. Your spine holds your body upright. Think about the whole spine. Maybe if you know where that is, you can reach back and just feel your spine. It's a very important thing in our body. It's important to keep it healthy, and this pose is keeping it nice and healthy. All right, from here, let's bend our knees and come into a squatting position. We'll take frog pose. So your heels can be on the ground or you can be up on your tippy toes. We bring our hands to heart center. As you're in your frog pose, you can rock side to side, press your palms together, move as you'd like. So frog pose, tree pose, both of those things are things in nature. Nature is another thing that can help you feel connected between your body, mind, and soul. And let's bring our hands down to the mat and we can jump up 3 times like a frog. Jumping, jumping, and jumping. Great. Lift your knees back up. Walk your feet out side to side, so bend into one knee, bend into the other. And then come down to have a seat on your mat. Just taking a little break between our movements. You can bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly if that feels good. And we'll just blink our eyes shut and relax for a moment. Going back to the idea of nature, you can use nature, grounding in, going outside, petting one of your pets, and you can use that to help yourself feel better when you're feeling sad. And let's take a breath together. Breathe in and out your mouth. Great. Speaking of pets, let's take some poses in honor of our furry friends. We'll start with downward facing dog. Plant your hands on the mat, walk your feet back, and send your hips up high, downward facing dog. Bend and straighten through your knees. Relax your neck and try to get as long as you can through the back of your legs and as long as you can through the back of your arm. Gaze back towards your feet. Press your fingertips into the mat, each and every one. Press, press, press. Great. Come down onto your knees for tabletop. Your shoulders are right over your wrists. Your hips are right over your knees. Now, one animal we probably don't have at home is the cow. But we'll start with this cow pose by dropping our belly down, lifting up, opening our chest to the front. And lift your chin up, gaze up. And then one that we might have at home is a cat. We're gonna breathe in and breathe out. Tuck your chin, round up through your back, press, 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 like a scared Halloween cat. And then let's take those two movements together. Drop your belly down, open up through your chest, gaze forward, and come on back up through cat pose. Drop your belly, lift up, and press back, cat pose. Keep doing those a few more times, and I want to talk to you about your breath. It's so important that we take nice, deep breaths, and that when we feel upset, we remember that our breath can bring us back to the present moment. It's always really good for us to create space between our feelings and our reaction. So we can, if we're feeling sad, or upset, we can take a breath, and that creates that space. And think of every time that you breathe in, you're creating more space and more openness, right? Because we'd rather have this feeling of openness inside than this feeling of closed and tight and shut inside. Okay, it's time for us to really lean into relaxing now. In yoga, we do a lot of movements, and then we take time to relax. And at that point, our body is tired, and we're tired, and we don't have as much time to think. Because when we are always thinking, it's like, ooh, things can get really crowded and difficult up there. So hopefully your mind feels clearer, and if you don't, then take a breath, and hopefully you're getting closer to that feeling. And we'll come onto our backs, and we'll become a nice, tight little snowball. And if you'd like, you can even bring your chin up and hug yourself a ton. Hug yourself in. And take a breath in. And then a breath out. Release everything down onto the mat. This pose is called Shavasana. This pose is meant for us to have quiet time. Quiet time is another really important part of wellness. In our lives, there's so much going on, and we need to take time out to slow down and be quiet. Close your eyes if they're not already. Release yourself into the mat. Relax through your face, your fingertips, your toes. take just another minute or so. A lot of what we teach in yoga is also about letting things go. So not holding on so tightly to an idea, but instead letting it come and letting it go. Begin to wake ourselves up from our quiet time with tiny movements through our fingers and our toes. And rock your neck from one side to the other. And then roll over onto one side as you pull your knees into your chest and use your arm as a pillow. Keep your eyes closed, and I want you to think here about what you learned during this yoga class. What did you learn about yourself, about wellness, or about yoga? Then press yourself up to a seated position, the same way that we started our class. Sit up nice and tall again, eyes closed. Let's take a big breath together. Breathe in and breathe out. You can bring your hands to heart center. Thank you so much for doing yoga with me. I absolutely love it, and I love being a part of your wellness day. I hope you have a wonderful time, and I cannot wait to hear from your teachers how you felt during yoga, what your favorite pose was, what you learned about wellness. I am so excited to hear, and I will see you all next time. Bye.